Previously on Alonso's way. So we're revving up to 5 red lights here at Catalonia, and it's 5 lights out and away we go, and we've got a pretty decent start for once, actually keeping up with the Mercedes. But we go defending from Sebastian Vettel in his Ferrari. He's coming from the right hand side and he gets ahead of us going into turn 1. We're in Rosberg's slipstream. Are we going to go for a move? And we are. We're thinking about it, and we're going to take P2. Are we going to take P2? We've actually took a Mercedes through straight line speed, which is surprising because we don't usually have it. Are we going to take the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix? And he does, and it's to the light of the Spanish crowd. It's going to be Fernando Alonso at his home Grand Prix. He's going to take the home win in front of the Spanish crowd, and for the first time McLaren-Honda since he returned to McLaren.
Welcome to Monaco, one of the most historic races in this season's calendar. The Monte Carlo Street Circuit provides both excitement and drama due to the close proximity of the barriers. There aren't many opportunities for overtaking here, so determining a good car setup is absolutely paramount. Monaco provides a close quarters wheel-to-wheel challenge for the drivers, and even though it lacks overtaking opportunities, it does give us the glitz and the glamour that can only be provided by a location like Monte Carlo.
Monaco is the most prestigious track on the Formula 1 calendar. It's a circuit that's extremely popular amongst the fans around the world, and it's something really special. As a driver, there's nowhere to hide. Lowe's hairpin is the slowest corner of any track on the Formula 1 calendar. It's taken at just 48 kilometers an hour, but provides a stunning view on the first lap as the entire grid bunches up and tiptoes through the corner, hoping not to leave any carbon fibre parts behind. This is such a tight bend that a special steering rack is used just to get around this very corner, as the cars would not normally be able to make the turn. There is the possibility of overtaking through Lowe's, but more often than not, you'll end up damaging your car.
Hey guys, I'm Viper and welcome to Alonso's Way, episode 6, Monaco. As you can tell from last time out, we managed to win the Spanish Grand Prix, thankfully. But it's just surprising considering McLaren's deficit in straight line speed. However, Monaco is obviously a more, say, tight track because of how close you can get to the barriers, as you heard from both of the commentators. But in general, this track, it seems like a good one for our car, but I noticed that in practice, even though I push like crazy on like, I think in practice I usually do like 1 or 2 laps in practice, and you know, just to get me warmed up, and then obviously qualities are good, usually is it puts your pressure to the test really. But in practice, I didn't actually, I thought, oh well, first trial, see what sort of time we get. And you see on board this first practice lap, I actually kept hitting the barriers, which is a bit of a bad thing really, because if I hit it too hard, obviously if you hit a barrier too hard, and I have got damage on full, you get damage too hard, you either get a puncture or the wheel comes off entirely. So you have to be very careful with a track like Monaco. It's very difficult to get right. I mean, if you've got the skill of it, you will be able to master the track and you will be able to get pole position. As you see, the back end of the car there really slides. I noticed that that corner, the car always seemed to do it. I have no idea why. It used to brake bias a few times during the race, and that still didn't help. So, as you see, coming across line, we only one DRS zone instead of 2 in this track. You see, coming across the line, it's going to be a 121.4. However, skipping on to a few laps later in the race, we actually got to do a 121, I think it is. Oh, 190.743. So that was our fastest in practice, so it puts us P4. But now I'll hand you over to the commentators for the qualifying.
We're here in magical Monaco for this afternoon's qualifying session, which will be getting underway shortly. Qualifying will determine who'll sit on pole at this iconic track. These next few minutes could determine tomorrow's race result as well before it even starts. The driver on pole will be best placed to win the race, considering how difficult it is to overtake here.
Exactly. To be in with a decent chance of winning here, you need to be on the front row. Even a few places further back on the grid, and you've got to rely on a bit of good luck to come your way, as overtaking opportunities are very limited.
Right, okay, qualifying time for the Monaco Grand Prix. You see, coming on to our lap now, DRS opens 7th gear, slowing right down into 3rd gear, and we clip the wall, which is that's a bad start already, which is not great. Actually, I didn't mean to do that, but obviously, there you go, throws its surprises, Monaco. Coming round into Casino Square, I believe this is, and also to the end of Sector 1. As you can see, we seem to gain places during the corners, which I noticed worked well in terms of like our advantage. I see going into corner I'll lock with the brakes, so it's not very good on that on our part for that, unfortunately. But as you can see, we proper gain on Hamilton, the Mercedes, but obviously this straight line, the straight through the tunnel now, show how bad our pace is in terms of straight line capability. See P9, P10, then P11 eventually, but coming into this, I think it's coming into the swimming pool section now, coming on into it, I mean. As you see, we're P6, which is still pretty good, I reckon. I reckon we still get a few more places, as we actually set the fastest middle sector, I believe. But as you see, we're catching up Lewis Hamilton still, and it's this P5, as we close right in on him, we actually get up to P3, and then slide down, I think, to P4, P4, P5. Are we going to drop any more places? P6, any more places? I don't think we are. We'll come across the line in P6, and I'm pretty sure Fernando will be happy with that. Even though he did qualify much better at his home race, I think he'll still be quite happy with 6th. Anyhow, on to the commentators for the qualifying report.
What a session it's been for Mercedes today. They've locked the front row of the grid for tomorrow's race.
They've really worked hard this weekend, and it seems they've been able to set up the cars perfectly today. Whether this will translate into race pace tomorrow, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
And as you can see, once more, it's going to be a Mercedes lockout, with Ferrari locking out the 2nd row. We actually managed to split the 2 Williams down in 6th. Ricciardo comes 8th in his Red Bull, which is not bad, but not great either. Grosjean managed to come 9th in his Lotus, and Nasser came 10th. The biggest surprise was probably Button finishing 11th. I thought he was actually going to crack the top 10. And you see the field's pretty close in match. That is until you get to like Will Stevens or Umberto May, who are like 4.5, 6 seconds off. You see both Force Indias not making it in anywhere near top 10, but apart from that, and now I'll hand you back over to the commentators for the race.
It's race day here in Monaco, and a circuit that requires real driver skill as well as concentration. Last night the Monte Carlo streets were full of revellers. Today they're cleared and ready for racing. We knew this was a track that suited the Mercedes well, but no one would have expected that Lewis Hamilton would have created such a gap to his rivals in qualifying. If he stays out of trouble and the car continues to perform, well, victory should surely be a formality.
He's definitely going to be difficult to beat today, but anything can happen, so we'll have to keep a close eye on how this unfolds over the course of the race.
Fresh from his race-winning performance, Fernando Alonso has been speaking candidly about his championship-winning prospects this week. Will he add to his 2 world championships before the end of his career?
Fernando is such a great driver that he deserves to have more than 2 world titles. He has come very close, thinking back to 2010 in particular, so if you give him a car capable of winning, then he's certain to add to that tally.
Right, okay, it's race day here at Monaco, and it looks pretty good so far. As you can see, just getting myself loaded there, which is great. And I have a look at race strategy. As you can see, strategy 1 is to pit on lap 9 or 10 for the primes and finish on lap 20, or we can start on the primes and pit lap 12 or 13. So we can either end on the softer tyre, which is the quicker tyre, or end on the slower tyre, which is obviously the prime tyre. But nevertheless, we'll go over to the race, which hopefully we should be able to get a decent start on the Williams and the 2 Ferraris. So revving up to 5 red lights here at Monaco, and it's lights out, and away we go. And I think Felipe Massa's going to get a jump on us here. Yes, he is going to go side by side with Massa, and he gets ahead of us and going to the first corner. And everybody seems to make it to the first corner quite cleanly. No yellow flags as of yet. But as you can see, Massa's still ahead of us, of course. We've got Grosjean behind us now, so we've got a bit of a problem to deal with. However, Raikkonen's been jumped by Bottas, so he's stuck in the middle of a Williams sandwich by the looks of things. Going down into, I think this is Raskas corner, I'm not sure. But there's that very low hairpin here. I think this is like Raskas, I'm not sure. But it's a very heavy corner. I noticed my steering was not great on that corner throughout the whole race compared to the AI. The AI obviously nail it because, well, they're AI, but with ourselves, obviously, I struggled. I think the setup wasn't right for this track, so unfortunately, I think I should have tested a couple of setups on this track. I only tested one really, and it seemed to work fine, but that was in another car, so, you know. Coming through into swimming pool though, we're trying to catch him. As you can see, the gap's 0.8 of a second, so by the looks of it, it doesn't look as though we're going to catch him anytime soon. But as you see, we're properly gaining in this last sector, I noticed. Obviously in the corners we seem to gain a bit. But coming across into the last, the start-finish straight now, if you want to call it that, and going across the line for lap 2, and it seems like the gap's been increased by a 10th, but I see moving on to end of lap 3, coming on to lap 4 now. We're going into the first corner. We've not locked up our brakes, but we've gone too wide and we've hit the wall, and we've proper clipped the wall. And I think we've suffered a rear left punch, and we've got some front wing damage. Let's see, we're going to let Grosjean and Ricciardo past, because we don't want to hold them up further. But very disappointing that we've got a pit for repairs at this earlier in the race. So luckily we managed to fend off Button till the pits, and obviously we're going to let all those cars go past now. So I see pulling into the pit box, they're going to fit the prime tyres, so hopefully we can make these last till the end of the race. Plus our front wing should be alright to, hopefully we can't damage the front, we shouldn't damage the front wing again, that'll help a pit stop. Let's see, we've still got Murhi and I believe it's Stevens behind. Murhi though is coming up on the start finish straight. Is he going to get us for 19th? He is going to get us for 19th. Stevens quite far back, so thankfully, so we'll be able to keep out of dead last place. But a very disappointing start to this Monaco Grand Prix. As you can see, lap 6 we're moving on as we're catching Roberto Murhi in his man. It doesn't really take much to beat a man really, but so you're going to go around his outside. He keeps it clean, as do we. And as we power away, we've got a bit better power advantage, and we're going to take 18th place off Roberto Murhi. Anyhow, moving on to lap 13 now. Literally, we tried to catch the whole pack. We passed a few cars, so you're up to 14th. But coming into the pit lane, I tapped the rear end and it reset me. So GG Cody's. We'll have to pit again for option tyres, but unfortunately we damaged our front wing again somehow. I think there was a collision with the wall, and it kind of damaged our steering, so I had to come in. If I didn't damage the front wing in the race, then I would have been able to stay out of the primes and stayed all the way up to lap 20, just finish the race on those. But unfortunately, we've now got 7 laps left, and we've got to do it on these options, which is possible easily. But as you see, as we go across the pit lane exit, we get a warning for that, so that's a bit unfortunate. But all throughout the race, we tried catching Carlos Sainz. So you can see, this is probably the highlight of the race for me. Lewis Hamilton set the fastest lap, and then we went even quicker. We did the fastest lap on the option tyres. So bear in mind, Lewis was on the, I think Lewis might have been on the options, I'm not sure. But we tried to catch Carlos Sainz, and he was like 18 seconds away when I pitted, and then we got him on the last lap. It was dead close, but unfortunately we're going to come across the line for 18th place at Monaco, which is very disappointing. As you can see, Fernando is very disappointed, and there's no doubt he'll want to put this behind him for Canada. I'll now pass you back over to the commentators.
It was a brilliant result for Ferrari today. They'll have answered a few critics with that performance.
You can't fault their commitment today. They really pushed hard and were rewarded with a race win. Fantastic achievement.
After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
So that's it for the Monaco Grand Prix. As you can see, Sebastian Vettel won the race with Valtteri Bottas second. Rosberg only coming third despite starting second. Raikkonen came fourth. Massa fifth. Ricciardo sixth, which is a pretty good outing for Ricciardo. He always seems to gain positions in the race. Grosjean seventh. Hamilton having a bad race again by doing another 2-stop, which put him down in 8th. Button managed to fend off the attack from Nasser, Hulkenberg and Maldonado, which was a big train of cars behind him, to finish 9th, so he scored 2 more points for our team. So thankfully we didn't score no points at all, thanks to Button's performance. I see both Force Indias failed to score any points at all this race, so not a good standing for them. I see Roberto Mehi actually DNF'd. Stevens came last. He was a lap down. We actually got quite close to being last. It was, I see, 8 tenths behind Carlos Sainz. But if we got Sainz and Ericsson, then 16th wouldn't have been as bad. I mean, it's still a bad result for us, but not as bad. I see. I'm just looking now at the what lap Roberto Mehi retired. Now, as you can see, going down through the laps, I think it was lap 16 actually at the start of in the first sector, so he must have come off at the first corner and pulled over. And just moving on to incidents now, as you can see in a minute there, Sainz and Stevens had a collision on lap 1, so there was a collision, they both got warnings. Same with Mehi and Hamilton, they both collided and got warnings for that. We got one for exceeding track limits and one for crossing the pit lane, exit white line. And Roberto Mehi got another one when he collided with Button on lap 15, so maybe Button was the reason why he went out, I don't know, perhaps, but we'll never know really. Like I said, I think he retired on lap 16, so it might have been because he had damage to his front wing, or he got puncture, or engine problems, I don't know. But moving on to the Drivers' Championship now, we're still managing to keep third, which is great. Fortunately, Raikkonen, Bottas, and Hamilton and all that have managed to catch up, which is unfortunate. We've also slipped further away from Vettel and Rosberg, who are the current championship leaders. But Vettel's managed to pull right up to Rosberg because he's now within 6 points of him, so Vettel may be getting his 5th title this season if he keeps this performance up. Verstappen, as you can see, has gone down, and Daniel Ricciardo's moved up, so Ricciardo and Grosjean are tied, and also Bottas and Hamilton and Massa are all tied on points, so not great, but not too bad. Button's there in 13th, that's the 14th then with 4 points, that's not too bad. See, Maldonado's moved ahead of Ericsson, no idea why, I see 2 Manas at the bottom. Moving on to the constructors side of things though, I think Mana is still at the bottom because he still Mana is still at the bottom because he still hasn't scored any points, so there's no surprise. See, Force India 10th, Sauber 9th with 8 points, so only 2 points separate Sauber and Force India. Toro Rosso are now 7th thanks to Red Bull moving up. Lotus are still 6th. Red Bull are 5th, there's a big gap between Red Bull and ourselves, which has now put us in 4th. I see we're now 6 points behind Williams. Mercedes and Ferrari run away with it. Ferrari mainly run away with it, but I don't think we'll ever catch the Ferrari or the Mercedes. I think Williams is going to be our rival. Like I said, third in the constructors is going to be great. As you can see, there's the race start for you guys, but apart from everything that's happened in today's episode, I know it's been a bit of a dismal one because we came only 18th, which is very disappointing. But this has been Alonso's way and anything can happen, so, you know, hopefully a better result out in Canada, and I hope to see all you guys there. So thank you all for watching Alonso's Way episode 6, and I will see you in Canada for episode 7. Until next time, ta-ra!